right.
Good morning, everyone. Miles Austin here with our second edition of Firestarters. We're privileged this morning to talk to a best-selling author of Amp Up Your Sales, Zero Time Selling, a multi-coast, internationally known and recognized speaker about sales and business and how to get things done in your life. Andy Paul, great to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to this one, bud. So, look, this is a real simple format, as you know. I ask a really simple question, and a lot of the audience just really wants to hear you for the next 12 minutes. And by the way, at the end, we're going to hit a siren. So if you hear that fire siren, you know your time is up.
Shut up, right?
It's time to get out of the house, buddy. So anyway, let's get started. And here's the primary question.
Sure.
How do you start each day? What routines, what process? What do you follow every morning as you get started to kick off your day to have the success you have?
Well, for me, it starts with exercise. So every morning, religiously, almost since, really, I never was a real morning person until we had kids back years and years and years ago. And so I got to the point where I said, hey, if I wasn't exercising first thing of the day, it wasn't going to happen. And so for me, I mean, exercise is really the way people talk about meditating to clear their mind and so on. But for me, exercise does that. So I'm a swimmer, a runner, biker. I do one of those things depending on the season and where I am. And it just gets me set for the day. It clears all the crap out, all the stress, and I come back to the office prepared and ready to go.
Fantastic. Do you find it a challenge in different climates, in different weather?
Yeah, well, as you know, I split my time between New York City and San Diego. So in San Diego, the great thing is we get to swim outdoors all year round. In New York, we sometimes have to trudge through the snow at 5:30 in the morning to get to the pool to swim. But we get it done.
Absolutely. You brought up a point that I was going to bring up a little bit later, but you addressed it. So let's get this one on the table. You're one of these unique people. You literally have offices. You work out of East Coast out in New York and down in San Diego.
Yes.
Does that not cause some challenges in getting up in the morning? Do you have a certain time you get up? How do you handle that working out of different locations with those different time zones?
Well, that's sort of the nice thing about the sort of exercise commitments I have. So I swim with a master swimming program. So it's like coached age group swimming for old farts, as I like to say. And so the workout starts at a certain time. And if you're not there on time, then the coach gets a little angry with you. So it's almost like being a kid again, right? The coach getting angry at you. But so that gets me up and out of bed. And it's always easy coming from the East Coast to the West Coast, because to get to that 5:30 a.m. workout, which is the one I go to, I'm up anyway because of the time zone change. And when I get to New York, I'm up because my wife also is a swimmer, and she's up and saying, okay, I'm going. Are you coming? And it's like, sure, I'll go. It'll wake me up.
So is she kicking you out of bed, or are you kicking her out of bed? Who's the motivator there?
Yeah, she's much. I'd be more tempted to skip a day if it weren't for her, but she keeps me disciplined.
I love it. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
So do you have a routine, Andy? When you get up, you've done your swimming now. So you get out, you do that. Mm-hmm. What do you do then? Do you have a certain series of steps and things that you do every morning, or does it vary?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'd probably shock people that think this is really bad practice, but I check my email. And, as you know, one of the things that I'm a huge believer in is being responsive to my customers and clients and anybody that's asking for some of my time. And so actually, even before I go swimming, I'll respond to emails on my way to swimming or before I go to workout, just because I don't want people waiting for a response from me. And so if I haven't gotten that done, or something else has come in during the time that I'm at a workout or doing something else, then first thing I do is sit down and clear the email and make sure that I just get back to people.
Does that change at all again, East Coast versus where you're based on that day?
A little bit. It's so funny. When you write a book that's all about zero time selling and instant responsiveness and so on, it sort of sets a bar for yourself. And so for me, when I wake up in California, it's like, oh gosh, I've already missed like 3 hours of the workday for people I'm dealing with in the East Coast. So they get first priority. So I am really sensitized to that whole idea of getting back to people, not making them wait, letting them get on with their day if they're waiting for information from me. And it just becomes embedded in your practice. So email first thing.
Okay, so you do. How many email accounts do you have? Do you just use one?
They all come to one. So I have probably a handful of accounts, sort of as during the years, accumulated various domain names associated with the email. So they all focus into Andy@zerotimeselling.com.
Perfect. Yeah. In fact, put it in the area section of the chat room over on the right, so people know how to get a hold of you and your website as well. But so all of your emails from all of these different activities all flow into one email box. That's interesting. That'll come up throughout this series, how different people handle personal emails maybe, and some of the more generic signing up for webinars and things versus business, I got to go react now kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, well, I sign up for things. I have an email account that I use to sign up for things that I don't want polluting my main email box. So
you're the one.
So I do have one of those. And then I have a personal email that I check a few times a day. There's a few people that, like my wife, that know if she really wants to get hold of me, she emails me in my business email account.
Fantastic. Well, that's the email we want, buddy. That's the one we want to have.
Andy@zerotimeselling.com.
There you go. Good. Well, listen. Okay, so you've got up, you've got some exercise, you've cleared out some of the important emails on the way or right after your swimming or your exercise for the day.
Right.
What's next? What do you do next? What's the key pieces next?
It's really based on the plan that I put together, usually the night before. I mean, not 100% reliable on that, but most days.
Hold on. So the night before is a part of your plan. You get organized the night before, so you know what to expect. Is that it?
Yes, correct. So I know what my priorities are. So I list out, what I use a variety of things depending on what I feel like. Sometimes I use a tool like a Todoist or something. Other times I just sort of keep it manually, like on stickies on my desktop. But I know exactly what my appointments are. Well, I've gotten in the habit of writing my appointments down on a sticky on my desktop for the local time zone, because since I'm switching between time zones so much, oftentimes I get confused as to what time I actually have something, because it may be on my calendar at 3 p.m. and I'm saying, okay, is that 3 p.m. Eastern or is that 3 p.m. Pacific? So I do make a habit every day of writing out specifically what time it's going to be in the time zone I am. So I have that, and that's usually done the night before. And then I've got a somewhat a prioritized list of things that I need to do, and the priorities may change based on what happens during the day, but I just try to sort of whack those off as much as I can.
Absolutely. So a question from the audience, the indomitable Mr. Jack.
Jack Koskowski, yes.
Yeah, you can see it there too. Are you what kind of drink do you have in the morning? Do you have a coffee, or are you a tea guy, or?
I've never got in the coffee habit. Managed to get through college without doing that. So I don't drink coffee. So when I get back from workout, my wife and I have these chocolate banana protein fiber shakes that we drink. And I know it sounds all together way too healthy.
I was going to say, wow, you're making me feel guilty sitting here.
But it's filling, and it's a good thing to replenish after a workout.
Okay. So what do you do? When do you jump into, okay, I got to start doing things other than doing the email responses and maybe making a call or an appointment? Are there other activities you try to get started every morning?
It really depends. When it's just sort of routine, hey, I'm just doing my regular podcasting and blogging and so on. I sort of set tasks for set days of the week that need to happen in terms of make sure the edits come in and getting them posted to my website, to my podcasts and my blogs, and getting them scheduled to go out. And that's, again, time that happens during the day really depends on what else is going on from a client perspective. But the other thing is when I'm writing a book, then typically I'll do my exercise, come home, and then I'll go disappear to a quiet space to write. That's about the only time where I say, okay, this is time I block out. This is going to be 4 hours or 8 hours, and I'm just going to go take care of something, and the rest of the world can sort of wait.
Okay, so a quiet space, is that internal to your home, your office, or is it going to a library or something?
Well, so I do most of my writing when I'm in my New York office, and or in New York, let's say. And I rent space in a place called the Writer's Room, which is a quiet space that it's sort of funny to go to, because I feel like sort of there are real writers there. There are people, published authors, novelists and screenwriters and so on, whose names I recognize. And I actually sort of vaguely recognize some of the people. And I feel sort of a little bit like a fraud writing my little business book.
Hold on. 2 #1 best-selling books on Amazon over the years, and you're saying you're the fraud, buddy. Come on. Humble pie is great, but
I don't know. These people they're real writers. But anyway, it's great. You rent a carrel, basically. And I just go in and plug in my headphones, and it's an absolute quiet space. There's no phones, no distractions at all that they allow in there. And yeah, it's amazing how productive I can be.
Fantastic. One of the things you mentioned is you have a team, or for those that don't know, Andy has a team of people that work with him in different aspects of his business. How do you collaborate and communicate and kind of, you mentioned Todoist. How do you coordinate a teamed approach and a teamed attack so that you're all on the same page on a regular basis? And just so you know, you got about a minute and a half, buddy, before that siren goes off.
Well, one word, Slack. So yeah, we use Slack internally. And so the team, they're my virtual assistant, and I've got a gentleman that I work with a lot does a lot of my graphic look and feel. Have somebody that helps me and supports me on my son that supports me with audio and editing and sound engineering on my podcast. And yeah, we use Slack and Dropbox are actually the tools we use primarily for collaborating.
Fantastic. Andy, in the little bit of time we've got left, maybe what's the one nugget? Maybe what's one of the things that you've learned over the years with all of your interaction with people famous and just everyday people getting started? What's one nugget that you could give them to encourage them and help them as they plan to start tomorrow?
Do it the day before. That's the biggest nugget. And if you're waiting until you're in the heat of the moment to start planning your day, then you're going to lose control. So probably if everybody I've spoken to is before you go to bed the night before, plan what you're going to do. If you don't already have it done, isolate those things that absolutely need to happen during that particular day, and then just get those done.
Fantastic. Gang, thank you. It is that time.
Oh, there goes the siren.
There's the siren. And I will just tell you, Andy, thank you. Great show. We had great interactions, some great commentary. Join me tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock. I don't have a choice. I got to be up early and get ready because I'm on live every morning the rest of the month. Tomorrow morning, our guest is Kevin Thomas Tully, one of those guys that lives and breathes social tools, social engagement in the sales space. You're going to have fun because, Andy, I know that Kevin has a bunch of tools he's going to share, which obviously are what I love to hear a lot about as well. Absolutely. So thank you. Appreciate you sharing it. And thank you all. And we'll be talking soon.